Hey folks, I just want to remind you to check out my eBay store at SeemsGoodMagic.com for some playsets and singles. I also want to remind you to check out live stream times, Tuesdays and Thursdays at 7 p.m. Central Time. And also follow us on Twitter at SeemsGoodMagic. Thanks, and enjoy the video. Hey everybody, Alex from SeemsGoodMagic.com here for another Theros Swiss draft. Sorry it's taken so long to get another one up. Been pretty busy working a day job and doing the podcast, and still working hard on the board game, which is tentatively called Nexus, and working all that out. And we're still a few months away before I have a finished copy of it, but I really love the place that it's at, and I'm excited about where that's going to go. If you don't know from watching my stream, you should check out my stream at twitch.tv/Inez27. I've been having just tremendously more success on at Twitch than I have on these YouTube videos, but hopefully I can turn that around today. Abhorrent Overlord is an awesome pick, but I'm going to take the Dauntless Onslaught. I've completely 180 flip-flopped my opinion of this format. I formerly thought it was a mid-range format because the removal was bad. Completely wrong. I think this is absolutely just an outstanding aggro format. I think you want to be in red-white or red-blue or stuff with cheap heroic, absolutely. So I've flip-flopped, and my new plan is go deep on aggressive heroic. It's where you want to be, I think. Now, Hopeful Eidolon, perfectly fine pick. Bestow for cheap in white, which is awesome for heroic, as is the Dauntless Onslaught. So looks like a pretty clear Hopeful Eidolon pick here. What else is good in here? Kragma Warcaller, also good. Return Phalanx is fine. Some fine cards in here. Fracas Cure. Ordeal, of course. Decent stuff. We're going to take the Eidolon. Okay, next pick. Probably want the Gods Willing, but let's investigate a little bit deeper. Green is awesome, so Nemesis of Mortals, perfectly acceptable. With green, you get a bunch more heroic spells. Could also take the Titan Strength. Could also take the Sentry of the Underworld. Nemesis of Mortals is, I believe, by far the strongest card in here. So I'm going to take that. Possibly go green-white. I'd still like to go red-white, but I can't really force it until I see what's going on. And like I said, there's plenty of good green heroic spells, so I'm thinking of the Staunch-Hearted Defender and whatever the hell the name of that 5-drop one is. But let's take the Nemesis for now, pretty happily. Alright, can take Feral Invocation here. It's a Flash Enchantment that permanently boosts and hits heroic, so it is pretty outstanding. Nothing in white is standing out as remarkably good. Laguna Band Elder and Decorated Griffin are both playable, not amazing spells, but let's take the Feral Invocation. I'm cool with that spell. I like it. Okay, pretty amazing red card here, so I think I'm going to try and opt into red-white still if that possibility is open, which makes me wish I had taken the Titan Strength, but Arena Athlete is a phenomenal 2-drop, so definitely going to slam that here. And, alright, for now, let's just take the Snarecaster, and like I said, I would much rather make the red-white plan work. Okay, Minotaur Skullcleaver, certainly aggressive. Portent of Betrayal is good too, but I like to go deep on Skullcleavers if possible. Deathbellow Raider, very good. Nothing insanely good here. Guess we can take this for sideboard, maybe. Bronze Sable is a 2-drop creature, not a great one, but a playable one. And Far's Warden's playable too. Go deep on Bronze Sables. They're not that good, I admit. But in a pinch, they're playable. So we're just going to try and force ourselves into some red-white action here. I wish I had taken the Titan Strength, but taking a Titan Strength over a Nemesis of Mortals at the time seemed a little bit outrageous. But it does appear that we may be able to make this work, so let's investigate here. Okay. Couple good green cards, but I mean, we've got Temple of Triumph, which is also on color, but I think we're just going to take the Verdict, get a removal spell. I don't actually like Verdict that much for aggressive, but it's always playable, so let's take it. Alright, Skull Cleaver, Magma Jet, Spark Jolt, Hopeful Eidolon. I do like me some Skull Cleaver. I think we need the Magma Jet. Always like having access to good removal in Magma Jet. Scries, it's also more rare than the Skull Cleaver, so it makes sense in my mind. Alright, I am a big fan of God's Willing. I'm also a big fan of Bestow. God's Willing, really, just, you're always happy to have it, I think, but Observant Alseid, Bestow is so important in the heroic deck. It is pretty essential. I'm going to go with the Bestow. I'm going to hope that we see at least 3 more heroic spells that we can take. That's my ultimate goal. Alright, another Snarecaster, but I think we're going to go with the Ordeal because I like it. With heroic, which we currently only have, what, 1 of? So, do have to do some work and find some more heroic, but I'm hoping we can do that. Well, here's a Fanatic. That could pan out for us later, so I think I'm going to take the Fanatic over the Spearpoint Oread. Let's try that guy out. Alright. Here's a Necroan Crusader. I think we're just going to slam him. Very aggressive. Battle-Wise Valor, also good, but I said I needed heroic, and a Necroan Crusader is certainly that, so let's try that little bad boy out. Okay, Two-Headed Cerberus or Flamespeaker Adept. Currently, for the Scries, we have Magma Jet. And nothing else. Alright, let's take the Two-Headed Cerberus. It works better with the Fanatic of Magus. It also works remarkably well with Bestow creatures. And pump spells. So, I'm going to go with that plan instead. Just passing all the Battle-Wise Valors. Traveling Philosopher is better than Bronze Sable, so guess we could take that. Not terribly excited with Wild Celebrants. Traveling Philosopher is also human, which works better with the Cavalry Pegasus, if I'm able to pick one of those up. I guess the Wild Celebrants works better with the Fanatic of Magus. Mogus, however you pronounce this stupid name. Let's take the Traveling Philosopher. Satyr Rambler it is. Wow. Tabling Skull Cleavers, that's a good sign. Love that guy. Alright. Taking another Deathbellow Raider. Wait. Evangel, I mean, he's fine. I don't think he's that good in here. He's too slow. We're trying to be quick. So let's go for the quick plan here. Alright, first cut's probably the Sables. I'd rather have these 2 drops instead. Tessin Griffin's playable. Just not terribly exciting. Flamecast Wheel isn't that exciting either. I'd rather not play those. I'd rather not play the Wardens. So let's see if we can solidify this deck a little bit better. I mean, it's actually fine. Like I said earlier, we really want, I would think, 2 to 3 more heroic creatures. So hopefully I can find at least 1 Wingsteed Rider. Be nice to have a favorite Hoplite. Be nice to have another arena athlete even. Or certainly an annex and Siamede would be cool. Alright, well, here's another arena athlete. And I think we're just going to take that. Yeah, perfectly fine. Temple of Deceit's not worth anything, right? I don't think so. I don't think any of the temples. I don't think anybody really cares about them. Nah, it's like one ticket. Alright, we're going to take the relevant spell then. Let's take the Arena Athlete, who is very good. Excellent, even. Can you imagine having 2 Arena Athletes out and playing a Dauntless Onslaught? Pretty sick. Alright, we have Dragon Mantle. We have Spear Point Oread. Dragon Mantle's cantrip, and it's much cheaper to bestow, but this is also a creature. I don't know, Dragon Mantle on 2-headed Cerberus sounds pretty appealing. It also boosts for Fanatic. Works fine on a Deathbellow Raider. Spearpoint Oread is presumably better, though. Although, well, no, I think it is. It's just straight up better. I mean, it is 6 mana to do it, whereas this is only 1, but I think it's just better. You want to have a lot of creatures. Grey Merchant and an Insatiable Harpy is an ugly pack for us. Let's take the 2-headed Cerberus, go deep on the Fanatic plan. Getting double strikers is never a bad thing. I mean, Legata Band Elder's fine. Let's go for the Borderland Minotaur. He's an awesome 4-drop, very strong and efficient. Bunch of stuff that's not on color with us. Let's see here. I mean, Last Breath's on color, but it's just not really what we're trying to do. Read the Bones would be nice, but we're not in black. Guess we hate something, so let's hate the... What's the most annoying spell in here? I think probably Read the Bones, but we're aggressive, so it's not that great against us. Guess Lash of the Whip's removal. Alright. Paulus Crusher, I want to play you. Another Divine Verdict would be fine, but we're going to go with Titan Strength, much better for our deck. Goes over the top more. You want to just have a quick combat trick on this guy that deals 8 damage. You want to just, when you're going this suicidal, you just want to be so explosive. Like, this is easily a 16 land deck, no problem. Alright, Cavalry Pegasus, but there's also Portent of Betrayal. I think it's probably Portent, but let's check our human count. 2 Arena Athletes, Traveling Philosopher, Crone Crusader. Not too much else. Let's go with the Portent. I like just ganking guys, then killing them with it. Oh, also in a pinch, Portent of Betrayal can be cast on your heroic guys for value. Seems strange, but I actually made it work in a stream for value on an Annex and Siamede. So, interesting things like that happen all the time. Alright, I think I'm going to take the Spearpoint Oread here and begin to cut one of these Deathbellow Raiders. Presumably. Although we're starting to look like a 17 land deck, just because I might have enough Bestow to make that work. Let's take the Wild Celebrants, because it's better for the Mogus, whatever. It is nice not to be forced to attack. Alright, definitely taking Dragon Mantle here. Decorated Griffin's cool and all, but we're going deep on greed. I don't think I need the Traveler's Amulet. Doesn't strike me as what we're trying to do. None of this really does. I guess we could take that. Guess we don't have any flyers though, do we? Kind of just always assume I at least have one Wingsteed Rider. Surprisingly, we didn't get one here. Alright, so a little bit disappointed that we didn't end up with more heroic spells. Kind of surprising, actually. But we're still in pretty good shape, I would think. I mean, we certainly have the goods to get there. It's just a matter of how fast are we going to be able to come out swinging. A little bit short on removal and tricks. I guess we do have Titan Strength, Magma Jet, Onslaught, which is probably the best one in the format. For now, let's just put some quick guys in. I don't like to be forced to attack, but a 2-3 body is pretty good. I think we're probably doing 17 lands. The reason being I'm just going to show you the mana cost if I want to bestow them, and then that should answer the question because I believe I have enough. Am I missing something? Traveling Philosopher, okay. So if I'm not playing that, maybe I can play the Philosopher instead of the Wild Celebrants, but I like that the Wild Celebrants is big old body, and in a pinch destroy some artifacts. And relevant artifacts in this format, we're talking Bow of Nylea, we're talking that whole cycle, Bidon of Thassa, Hammer of Perforos. One sec. Okay, so we're going to play 17 lands. Oh yeah, let me show you what the curve looks like when we factor in bestow costs. I mean, obviously these aren't the mandatory costs of these spells. I realize that. But keep in mind, it's very beneficial to bestow cards, especially when you have Heroic in your deck. So let's separate the removal versus creature count here. And something like this. And, I mean, if you look at that, you should feel comfortable playing 17 lands in a deck such as this. So, yeah, this deck's alright. Not the best. I would have preferred to have gotten one Winged Steed Rider at least. It would have been nice to get a Favored Hoplite. I am happy that we actually have plenty of devotion for our Fanatic, who can come down and be an awesome finisher. So we've got the means to do a bunch of early damage, and we've got the means to do some pretty good late damage too. So I'm satisfied with this deck. I don't think I don't need to run the Deathbell Raiders over like a Rambler or certainly not Athletes or even the Snarecaster. So I think I'm happy with our curve. I'm happy with our creatures. Yeah, this deck's alright. I'd rate it like, yeah, it looks about right. I'd rate this deck, what would I rate this deck? I'd probably rate this deck like a 6.5. Not quite a 7, possibly a 7, but 6.75 maybe. Something like that. Something about it seems a bit underwhelming, but definitely good enough to win a draft. I'll say that. Let's go 11-6. We really only need one white the whole game, but I want to make sure we hit our white when we need it. We definitely need double red, so I think 11-6 is perfectly acceptable mana base. You just need 2 red sources pretty much. I mean, the one swap I could do is Deathbell Raider instead of the Wild Celebrants. But I don't know, something about that. Doesn't seem quite right. Alright, I think we're just going to run it like this. I'll see you round 1.